gal from TikTok who's just in just.
Hey guys.
There's B Simone.
Hey, Billy, Megan, Leo, Jay White, all y'all other people. I don't know y'all yet, but hey.
we got B Simone just showed up. We got my girl Meghan Trainor, who I love, and Jay and I had the pleasure of working with for years. We got Jay White here. We got Ryan Press. We got Murda Beatz. We got our partner Suzy. We got Johntá Austin. We got the one and only Neo. And we have Maria, who runs marketing and digital on behalf of Q&A and human resources. And did I catch everybody? I'm looking at the screen.
Yes.
And got to make sure just double click on our partner in crime, Ryan Press. And so just, I guess, Ryan, just with how you've been doing over the last week, and just kind of checking back in with you, and we could just kind of pass it around, just see where everybody's dealing with everything right now.
Hold on, I was on mute for a second. Everything's been good. Trying to stay active, staying safe first and foremost. Just trying to, get adjusted. I think we all are trying to get adjusted still. Still isn't all the way there yet, but we're here every day. So, this is exciting. So I'm here. I'm doing good.
I think one of the things that we wanted to kind of touch on today was like how a lot of folks that have joined the panel are doing something super innovative and creative, through socials or through the internet during this time. So maybe, Danny, we can start with you, and Neo kind of already brought up the Levi's challenge, which I think, first of all, we're all super proud of you and everything that you've accomplished and kind of where you've come from and what you've grown to and still growing. So, we're all super proud of you. But I think the Levi's challenge to me is working, and it's massive. And, but I think you've done a phenomenal job with your socials since you started, and just kind of how you've manipulated them and how you've used your social platform, to help build who you are and really have people buy into you even beyond music. So can you talk a little bit about, just kind of that the challenge, how you came up with it, and just kind of how you leverage your socials in general?
Yes. Hi. It's crazy. I didn't know how this would turn out. Before the single was released, I came up with the idea. I was like, yo, I feel like every girl would love to just show their ass and flex with their jeans. I feel like it's so easy. To do something easy like that is the best way, I feel like, to hold a challenge where it's everyone's low-key capable of doing it. So with that, I was like, I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna do my own video to start it off. And I told people I'm gonna repost them on my page. So that right there is key. Everybody wants to gain followers and stuff. So I felt like that was a great way of, having that. And then, yeah. And then I actually hit up a whole bunch of girls too, to start it off for me, as well. Girls that had my back. So I had girls do that for me, and I started posting it. It just started going crazy, and it definitely helped my song, which was lit. And then it just became so epic, and I didn't want to end it and I couldn't pick a winner either, because there was just so many good girls. I was like, okay, I'm not going to be responsible for picking this winner. So, the March Assness thing, it was a perfect time with the Corona and quarantine. They took our sports away. So it was just another little competition to end this off how I wanted to. And yeah, so it was cool because I got the people to vote, get involved. My story, views, everything is just crazy right now because people are just so in it, and they felt like it was a really fun thing. Who don't want to see ass, So yeah, that's it. Really, it's finished today. I got the winner today, which was lit. She was fire, and she had Levi's jeans on too. So I was hoping the winner had Levi's on, just to make it make sense. And yeah, with social media, that's my biggest outlet for sure when it comes to my brand and who I am. I always like to show my face, and my face is my brand. So social media is important, especially this day and age. So I always stay super consistent. Consistency is key, and just, you know, having great content and just, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Girl, I wanted to do your challenge, but my booty not big enough.
I wish you would have. But you posted it for me, so thank you.
Yeah, girl.
Thank you. It's love.
That support is dope.
Yeah, for sure. I got mad support. It was fire.
Yeah, you could tell a lot of people did it just organically, like just on the love.
Facts. Def Jam was talking about paying girls to do it, and then everybody just did it. So we were like, perfect. We don't gotta pay nobody.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Then I would have did it.
Right. I know some girls, like, definitely I had a whole bunch of girls that gave me their rate and all that stuff, and I sent it to Def Jam, but they were like, no, we're not gonna pay. I was like, of course, yeah, Def Jam's not gonna pay.
That's literally been one of the most creative challenges on social media, dog.
Thank you. I be getting tweets all the time like, Danileigh got the best challenge going on. Thank you. She saved quarantine.
For sure. Because I'm sick of seeing this.
Right. Oh, don't say that.
All of them woeing.
Right. Nah,
Have you heard from Levi's yet directly? The
yeah,
brand?
I just did a IG live concert with them, and they paid me to do that, so that was lit.
Hey.
Awesome.
Everything's about to be digital, so I'm like, y'all gonna have to cut a check because that's the only place you're gonna be able to catch us artists, you know what I'm saying, online. So yeah, they did that, and we're still having a deeper conversation on just the long run and what we could do, because they definitely loved the campaign. Like, it wasn't even meant to be like for them. I just happened to have Levi jeans on the time I made the song, so that's why I rapped about it in the beginning, and then I felt like it was perfect, just like, you know. Yeah. And I like Levi, so it was like, let me see what's up. You know.
Hey, Danny, like what you just said, like everything's going digital, and like what, like just for artists, you know, for how are you guys looking at, you know, even once this quarantine thing is over, it's not like all of this just goes away immediately. So like are you comfortable going back out on the road at this point? Like, you know, so. Like, how are the artists feeling about touring?
I know.
After this.
I know. My tour actually was about to have a tour in May, and it got postponed. So, I mean, everything got postponed. Festivals, everything got postponed. So, I'm sad. I like to be in front of people. I like to catch people's energy. So, I don't know. I think that's just something that we really gonna have to wait and see with what happens with this virus and how everything turns out. But I know Rolling Loud isn't happening till 2021. So that's I don't even know if there's gonna be shows this year. So it is definitely scary, because that's where artists really make their money. You know what I'm saying? Is touring and all that. So it makes, you know, I think artists have more of a harder time of just okay, now we have to think online and you know, really carrying it through with just this platform versus, you know, dropping music and being able to go catch a bag at the club or at a show. So I don't know. It's definitely gonna have to put people in a mindset of let's be very creative. I see a lot of artists being creative, like Tory Lanez with his IG live, he really about to go up. I feel you know, so everybody just gotta be creative. That's the best way to think. The best way to you got to have people tune in on you now. It's all digital. It's unfortunate. I'm not a homebody at all. I don't want to be home. I want to move around. I want to go to cities, you know, and feel people's energy. But I don't know. Something we have to think about now, you know.
Yeah. You going back out on the road? Do you
Will I?
Yeah. Oh, this was I was asking Megan, are you going back out on the road? Because one of the things I was talking about earlier, the legacy touring business is probably going to be dead. So with if you're 65 and up, are you going to want to go to the Eagles concert or to the Grateful Dead concert and be around 30,000 other people, right? So are you comfortable yet, getting your fans all within one room, and what's the comfort level there?
I'm not personally comfortable yet, especially with hearing how much we don't know about COVID-19. But you know, Troy, you know me at with touring in general, it's physically very hard on my body, like me personally. I had vocal surgery after every tour. So this time around for this album, I wanted to open for Maroon 5. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but like I ask every day, like, are we still going? Is it postponed? And we just keep getting, we're not sure yet. And we don't know. And I know I wouldn't be comfortable if they were like, it's still on and we're going right away. Just like even the beginning of everyone talking about this coronavirus, I was like, how are we supposed to do meet and greets? Like, how are we supposed to give, if they're paying all this money and I can't hug them or like shake their hands, like, how are we supposed to do this? And like, so I'm not comfortable with any of it yet still.
Yeah.
Just to kind of switch gears a little bit, Johntá and Neo had an epic showcase of hits, and I had a conversation with Johntá the other day about how much he reminded me of his catalog and what's there. Johntá, can you kind of talk us through, like, how you guys use your platform, to showcase and kind of remind people of what you guys have done, and also kind of touch on, love to hear a little bit about like how you got started and, your experiences with, Chris Hicks and in Atlanta, and just kind of how you got into all of this.
So the way everything came together the other night was my man Tyrone reached out to Fuzzy on Neo's end, and we kind of started putting that energy out there, and we spoke the night before, and then Neo talked to Swiss, and then they brought it up under the Versus umbrella. Really just first my thanks to Neo for even wanting to do it, because his he's Neo, so his platform is like huge, worldwide, global figure. So to do that was awesome, and I think just the night itself was great for R&B music. Like at the end of the night when we looked up and saw that 80,000 people were there listening to R&B music, you know what I mean? That's like, because hip hop gets a lot of attention, rightfully so. And we always hear whispers of, R&B is not this or that anymore. And so that was great to see that. As far as how I got started in the game, I had a record deal first when I was like 13 at RCA, and then I got dropped, and then Tyrese got signed to RCA, and that's how Sweet Lady happened through Troy Taylor. And then when I was here in Atlanta, I got hooked up with the Noontime crew. So, Chris Hicks and Ryan Glover and Noonie. And then, with Brian Michael Cox and Teddy Bishop in the early days, Jazzy Faye in the early days. And we just started grinding, man, trying to get on projects, trying to get in where we could fit in. And one thing just turned into another.
So Neil, what was your take on the other night?
There we go. I had to unmute the thing. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. I think I won. I feel no. I'm playing. No. I think that above who won, who lost, or whatever, I think that it was just an overall win for R&B music. You know what I mean? Like to repeat what you just said, John. Say like 80,000 people listen to R&B music. 80,000 people. It's like Madison Square Garden 3-4 times. You know what I mean? Like for R&B, like that's big. That's real big. So I was a little. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little shook going into the battle because I'm very aware of that man's catalog. Well, at least I thought I was. You played a couple records that I didn't know that you was responsible for. That hurt my feelings even more. I will honestly say after going back after the battle and looking at the playlist, I thought I won initially, but after going back and looking at the playlist, I was like, okay, yeah, he got 2 separate Aaliyah joints on here. Okay, yeah, he might have got that. Yeah, he might have. Yeah, he might have.
Man, the winners were everybody who tuned in, man. I'll stand by the tie. I'll stand by the tie.
But I feel like it's just dope to have, you know, that many people in one place just in celebration of quality music. Like, that's just dope to me, man. So I was happy to be a part of it.
Cool. Y'all may not know as well, or you probably do know, but like since that battle, man, like so many songwriters just have been reaching out to me, I'm sure everyone else, and they just got so inspired to like, hey man, I gotta step my game up, you know, hey, I gotta work with different sets of artists, you know, I gotta get back and stop writing, you know, meaningless records. So, you know, I'm sure y'all have gotten some messages, but just for both of y'all, just the way y'all inspire so many other young songwriters across all genres that night, I think was key for the business, man. And I don't, you know, I'm sure y'all inspired each other, but just the whole youthful community of songwriters and producers were just ready to go to war after that. Like,
Neil's inspired me for 10 years, so you know, for sure, for 10 years, Neil.
You've inspired me for way longer, brother. Way longer.
You know, and to add to that, I thought what was also great was just the comments that night, and since then have just fed off of the energy and positivity that Neil and I showed towards each other. Like it was all love that night, and like even when you know, see people talk about it online, like if you think it was a tie, if Neil won, if I won, it's all just been expressed in positivity and just love for the music. So I was also happy to see just our energy and how it just spread out and people picked up on that. It was just, it's what Ryan said, it was inspirational.
Music won and the culture won.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking on that, Murda and Jay White, you know, both of you guys are like some of the most in-demand, you know, heavy hitter, you know, producers out there in the game right now who, you know, thrive off of the momentum of just, you know, one single after another. How are y'all getting adjusted to this current situation, and what's been keeping y'all busy? Are y'all working? You know, like, how is it for being one of, you know, some of the hottest producers out there right now to really, you know, dive in and work during this time?
It's kind of like the same thing, just like minus like the in-studio sessions with the artists. Like, I'm still at home making beats every day. I'm playing video games. I'm getting inspired by seeing these battles that I normally wouldn't see. So, you know, I feel like there's like a big demand for inspiration. And I'm definitely getting it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good.
What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, honestly, at first, you know, until the Savage Challenge came, I was literally just like, you know, I don't make like a pack of beats and I would tell everybody, yo, Jay White, I need beats. But now I'm making beats all day. I'm playing Madden all day. But this Savage record got me lit again. Like, this Savage Challenge got me lit. So producing that song and turned it up for me.
Number one on TikTok for like 2 weeks.
That's fine.
Jay, what's your creative process? You've been able to just put out massive amount of hits on all artists, but you've been finding a very good niche with, you know, female, you know, rappers. Like, is that intentional, or just like, what is that creative process like, or what do you tap into to just keep pumping out these hits in that arena?
Honestly, it wasn't at first until Cardi B came along. Honestly, it came to the point to where nobody was really taking my beats, nobody was taking my songs serious, and I said, you know what, if I can blow up Cardi B with my sound, then everybody would, you know, just take me serious in this industry. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna give Cardi B the hardest tracks that I can give her and blow her up. I want her to sound like a dude that's rapping on these tracks. So literally, I found a formula to where I make, you know, I like working with women and I can make them sound just as good as dudes can. So it feels good to, you know. You say what?
I'm gonna need a pack, bro.
Oh man, listen, I want to say no to a pack, but I ain't got nothing to do, so I'm gonna send you a pack straight up. Yo, I used to hate doing packs, but yo, this it's fun now. I mean, it gives me something to do. I sit at home all day, not literally doing. I told B Simone before we came on, I said, I got a beat for you. I got a record for you. We finna turn up. But honestly, it really makes me feel good to work with females because, especially female hip hop, because I feel like, you know, it was so suppressed to just Lil' Kim, then it goes to Nicki, then it's Cardi. No, I love this movement of all female rap. I'm one of the, you know, the top producers in that game.
That's right. On the note of like packs and kits, like Murda, I saw your quarantine kit with Splice, and I like loved how it was like the creative was done together, like bright yellow and just like out like in your face. And I actually saw like some girl producers like post just like thank you for creating that and putting that together and sharing it, just for the, you know, the access and the opportunity to be able to take it and riff with it.
Yeah, I thought that was dope. So like the first day I was in the crib, I was like, man, this is like a great time to like drop my first ever drum kit online. And I did, and we got like 600,000 downloads in like a week or something.
Wow.
That shit was crazy. So shout out to all the producers.
Meghan,
how are you? I know you did some stuff with Meghan and with her album coming out, and you know, how are you guys, you know, at TikTok kind of interacting with artists?
Well, honestly, I ain't been on TikTok personally, but
I was posting that to Isabel, so Isabel.
Oh, okay, my bad. All right, my bad. Let me go to mute.
You got a lot of real estate on TikTok right now, though, Jay White.
Okay.
That's very true. I mean, Savage was #1 for 2 weeks and really propelled the record to go off platform. But, you know, with everyone kind of being at home, we've seen an influx of activity, especially from artists who want to connect with fans. And so we're trying to come up with different programming that allows them to do that. We launched Happy at Home, which is like a live streaming series that happens every day at 5 p.m. Actually, Meghan did it last Friday. And it's just a really great way to just hold everyone out of like, you know, the moment that we're living in and just bring a little bit of joy and entertainment.
I think it's
Isabel, I'd love to ask you, just because like, you know, we've all seen TikTok just dominate our minds and then like translate into airwaves on radio and just everywhere. Like it's pretty much like in my bed before I go to sleep and then like in my bed before I wake up. And I'd love to just hear about your journey over the past year, being like over a year at TikTok, and just, you know, watching the team explode, watching the public response, global downloads explode, and just how like Meghan has done an amazing job on TikTok and just like established herself as the queen, but would love to just hear about the journey over the past year.
Yeah, you know, it's been really interesting. So when I first joined, TikTok was kind of percolating, but not really cemented its sort of like presence in the industry. And so our dynamic with the artist community was very different. I think that there was a lot of like trying to showcase and convince of like what the benefits were of like, you know, joining our platform. And I think, you know, with the Lil Nas X moment that happened, which was the really first time people kind of perked up. And then, you know, fast forward to end of last year when we had the Arizona Zervas, you know, moment. And if you look at the virality cycle of both Lil Nas X and Arizona Zervas, the velocity of it is like staggering. So Lil Nas X took about 8 weeks to mature and go viral off platform. With Arizona Zervas, like 6 months later, it was you know, about 3 weeks. And now we're seeing just like a wave of like music just goes super quick. Like you can see a clip of a song, you know, hit like virality within like 2 days. So yeah, it's definitely, and now obviously I think, you know, it's more about not so much the buy-in, like convincing. It's more about like, let's work together and give you the proper tools so you can be successful on the platform and get your sound and your personality out there.
Yeah, I think I was trying to do the Levi challenge on there, but I think it was too, like, people said they said their videos got deleted, so I was like, oh yeah, I can't do that.
Well, I think, our community guidelines are a little bit stricter than other platforms, mainly because, we have a young audience that we inherit from musically, even though we're aging up, there's still that, part of our community that we need to watch out for. So you and I can make a sidebar, and we can figure out ways to make that, like some content actually can go through. It's just like, we just need to figure out that.
I did one to Levi's, and but mine's aren't as extreme as like the other girls. So that's why I felt like mine was cool. Yeah, for sure.
And then Meghan, what's the journey been like of like putting up your first TikTok and then learning and feeling out the response and changing up your strategy? It's been like fun to watch you just win on the platform.
I don't know if I'm winning, but I'm looking back through my TikTok right now, like wondering which ones blew up and which ones didn't. And I've wanted to be good at this app for months now, that I've actually had 2 in-person meetings with people who work at TikTok to be like, how do I do this? Like, help me out. And it's so funny because it's not like, how when an artist has a single and they tell everyone and they put a lot of money into it and they're like, hey, this is the song we're gonna do. It's not like that's the one that's gonna blow up on TikTok. TikTok is like one of the only platforms where they're like, you know what? We like your song, no. And we're gonna blow that one up, even though that was an album ago. And it's like, it's really cool, and it's really up to the gods of TikTok. Like, it's the weirdest app where you can't be like, I want this to work. It's like, no, if the people come together and that's what they like. What'd you say?
Yeah. It's like giving like the audience the power to choose what they want, and it's not about like priorities from record labels. It's not about the new hottest track. It's about like what really resonates with the community. And I think it's really kind of democratized that.
The gods of TikTok are actually just everybody behind the algorithm, seeing what surfaces up for them as TikTok learns what each individual likes.
Going back to the question of like which Meghan TikTok blew up, and I have this like in my mind because it was one of the most sort of random fun TikToks I've seen, and it's the one of you with the hair dryer, and you're in the studio.
Let's see.
Do you remember that one? And like,
dude, I posted. I literally like, so every day we glam up for work when we were going to work. I would tell my older brother, because he videotapes me, I'm like, all right, you have to come up with a TikTok idea every day. And we just couldn't, we're not creative like that. We couldn't think of it. And this was a genuine, real moment where I was sweating and I was like, yo, I need to calm down. And I put the blow dryer down my shirt and it blew up. But the weirder part was that it blew up with all of these dudes, and they just duet me. And it's all men, and it's all like 30 and up. And it was so bizarre and so weird. And they're all watching me like, and I have no idea what it means. But that was my first like video that blew up, and I don't get it.
And I think I think the reason why that one really resonated is because it's such a natural moment of like your daily life. And I feel like TikTok is all about that, right? It's not about being like the super curated version of yourself, or like I'm trying to like be super, lean into the challenges, which, for some people that works. But what the audience really craves is just feeling like they know you and being able to just take a hold of that and like get to know your personality and.
And I really like how I feel like Instagram is like you post all the best days in your life and like your prettiest moments. And then TikTok, you can just be gnarly and raw and real. And that actually gets more likes. And that opened my mind and my world. And I was like, I love TikTok.
And then transitioning over, and transitioning from Meghan B, before you joined, Meghan was like, I love B.
Thank you, girl.
In love with you.
Thank you.
You've had you're just like a mogul with beauty,
Oh,
with
you.
social media, with everything that you have going on. Just a true entrepreneur. And
That's on your book too.
yeah, the panel
Thank you.
community.
Y'all see it in the back right there.
The
Little
panel
baby.
community knows that I love entrepreneurs, and why I love music is because in music, every single person, whether they're a writer or a songwriter or a producer or an A&R or an executive, they are entrepreneurs, like making shit happen every day. And B, for
Yeah.
you, have you crossed over into the TikTok world yet? And what, with your book, with your YouTube, with your beauty brand, like everything that you have going on, what's current for you during this COVID quarantine, and how are you finding like new and creative ways to just like rise up?
Honestly, as an entrepreneur, this quarantine has made me be so creative and realize the power that us as influencers and creators have. I set a goal, which I'm super open with on my social media. It's on my YouTube. I'll be 30 in 3 days. And my goal was to be a millionaire, have $1 million in my savings account by the time I'm 30. And I was like, I'm on tour with Martin. Martin about to pay me all this money. What? It ain't nothing. Like, I'm gonna make my goal. I got 50 days to do it. I'm a hustle. Martin was like, see you in September, bitch. We're on lockdown. I'm like, bye. So after the tour got canceled, I was like, damn, like I was so dependent on tour money to get me to my goal. I was like, we gotta be creative, man. I started Be Simone's Closet. I wrote a book. I sold Hanitizer, get rid of the fuck boys while staying germ free. I sold lip gloss. I'm like, this has caused me to be so creative and just like, man, like when you really sit back as an entrepreneur and a creative person, there is so much you can do outside of your own home. And once you see a need for something, you fulfill the consumer's need, man, I'm like, fuck tour. Like, I'm about to sit in the house and make products. Like,
You launched 3
so
products.
I've been using TikTok. I've been using everything. And man, like, it's unbelievable what me and my team have been doing over here during this time, just in the fucking house, dog.
That's fine.
Speaking
You
on
launched
that,
3 products, right? Since we've been down.
I'm sorry, what?
You launched 3 separate products since we've been down, right?
I've launched 3 separate products: Manitizer, my book, Be Simone Beauty. Like 50. We said we were gonna try to do a hustle a day. So we had 50 days to make $500,000. We were trying to make $500,000 in 50 days. So I was gonna do a different hustle every day. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I went out and did girls' hair. I started Be Simone's Closet. Sold new and old clothes I've never worn. I wrote a book. I sold lip gloss. I did small business swipe ups on my story, which brought in so much revenue. It's just stuff that I didn't even know would bring in revenue. I just sat on the couch and brainstormed and used my platform to, okay, let's help people and let's make money while doing it. Every single hustle I had over the past 3 weeks of this quarantine or 2 weeks has helped somebody, and it's brought me in a lot of revenue.
That's a master class. First of all, I'm never lending anybody money again after. I'm just gonna show them this clip, by the way. Like the fact that you're able to build that and launch that and execute that, is just super impressive. So congrats.
And it was fun because we had some setbacks, man. We had so many expenses. I've cried through it. I've hustled, but I get up every day off my ass and figure something out. There's so many ways to make money. And thankfully, a lot of us on here, we don't, none of us, we don't have 9 to 5s. We're not clocking in. We're entrepreneurs. We work from home. So we're blessed that, it's not affecting us as much as other people financially, so we're very blessed that we can just be creative in our own homes. And we have a platform already to give people a product or give something that they feel like is worth monetary value.
And as a brown woman, that's amazing to see that.
Thank you.
And we're super impressive because just with Danny kind of talking about just how she had to create the Levi challenge. Meghan saying she's going into TikTok twice, and you launching these brands. It's just the whole idea, just leaning into it and not waiting for it. It's just,
create, don't wait. You can't wait on anybody to give you the green light. You try something, if it doesn't work, so the fuck what? Keep moving. try something else.
Girl, I'm gonna need you to be part of my team.
Let's go. And you know what's crazy? Let me shout out to my manager, because her mind with marketing, I'm like, okay, calm down. Like, girl, she woke up and was like, I am at Walmart. There is no hand sanitizer in here. We need hand sanitizer. And you need to stop trying to look for a boyfriend. Fuck it, manitizer. I'm like, manitizer. Girl, I'm in the kitchen filling bottles of Googling how to make at-home disinfectant. We done sold 1,000 bottles. It's like, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Just marketing, creating, and it's fun. I love creating and being stressed and then overcoming that hurdle. It feels so good because there was so much alcohol and disinfectant on my floor. I was like, fuck these manitizers. Send everybody their money back. But it's great. It's fun being a creative. We're all creative, and this time has opened up my mind to so many ideas for branding and marketing and different things, you know, that my brand can do. So I'm excited.
Sticking on that point of creativity, for like the songwriters here, Neo, Johntá, you know, Megan, Danny, you know, everyone, like, you know, to me, songwriters are some of the most amazing people in the world, because you can invoke an emotion that it takes like 3 hours in a movie to do in 3 minutes. And just, can you walk us through, you know, your creative process of when you go lock in to write? You know, I've seen Neo listen to a track, turn the track off, and then go in another room and write to a song. You know, like, it's like the most interesting thing I've ever seen. So like, can y'all speak to some of that and how you do it and what you tap into to get there?
Well, I think one of the dopest things about songwriting, about music production period, is that there's really no wrong way. You know what I mean? Like, it's as long as the destination is quality music, then how you get there doesn't really matter. So, you know, everybody kind of has their own way of doing it. And in saying that, it's hard to lock into one specific way. Like, I've started with the lyrics first. I've done that before. I've started with the beat first, you know, a skeletal beat, and then you throw something over it. You know, I've started with the cadence and the melody first, where it ain't no words yet. You just get in the booth and kind of go, and then later on throw the words across. Like, I've done that before. Mm-hmm. There's really no wrong way. I think that above anything else in the realm of songwriting, for me, I'm always trying to find another way to say something, because I feel like at this point we've kind of said everything, we've done everything. So now all you can really do is, you know, be inspired by what's happened and try to create, try to add to a vibe that already exists, because all vibes already exist already, in my personal opinion. You know, it's just about taking the puzzle pieces and putting them together. But yeah, I think that it's mainly just about making sure that you're always inspired, and whatever that inspiration is, wherever that inspiration comes from, that part doesn't necessarily matter. It's about what it is that's going to really get your creative juices flowing, so that you can do something that is moving the needle. You know what I mean? Like everybody's creating all day long, everywhere, all day long. But it's only certain things that are really gonna move the needle. And I feel like one of the best ways to ensure that what you do means something is to not necessarily do it from a place of okay, how much money can I make with this? You know what I mean? I've always felt like when it's creative, it's not always about the amount of money that you can make doing it, especially when it's music. Music, I've always felt like should come from the heart, should come from the soul. And if you make $1 doing it, then that's a fringe benefit. But I've never felt like money should be the motivating factor of music or art. But I mean, that's one man's opinion. I feel like when it's something that you want the world to lock into, it can't be based on something as trivial as money. It's got to be an emotion. It's got to be heart. It's got to be something real.
What about you, Johntá?
Well, firstly, yeah, I second everything that Neo said. As far as my process, yeah, it's different every time. It could, you know, be writing without the track. It could be getting the track and, you know, getting the melody first, or getting the concept first, and then, you know, the words, and then filling in the melody, you know, last. It's just always different. It's, you know, right in the car, right in the studio, you know, it's always different. And really that's the fun part is, like Neo said, trying to figure out different ways to put the puzzle together, because it's, you know, it's all the same, you know, set of notes. It's all the same topics, just kind of told, you know, in different ways over and over again. But yeah, I just wanted to focus on the quality too. That like Neo says, just I tell young writers, you know, I tell my son who's starting to write, like, you know, focus on the quality. At the end of the day, you know, just make it quality music. And if people get to hear it, like Neo said, you hear it and you make money, that's good. But, you know, there have been like songs and projects that I've been a part of that may not have been, you know, as big as some of the artists' other projects, but I still stand by the work, you know, because I'm proud of the quality and the time that we put into it.
Yeah, one of the interesting things, you know, I was watching when y'all were playing songs back and forth was, you know, was that y'all definitely have tons of hits with a bunch of people, but there's a chemistry that lies with certain producers that y'all work with. You know, Neo had a lot with Stargate, Johntá with like a lot with B. Cox and JD. There's just a chemistry that just happens in the studio creatively that I guess you can't even put into words. Murda, just on the hip hop side, you pretty much gotten that with like the Migos and, you know, maybe a select few artists. Like, what is that like when you find it or trying to find it, because you're making beats all day long? Like, what is it trying to get there?
I feel like it just happens over time, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really like a blessing when you find that chemistry with the artist, like I found with the Migos and like Party Next Door. And, you know, like I've created with other artists too, like Travis and Drake, but mainly like what I've built with like the Migos and like Party, it's like a blessing, you know what I'm saying? Like real shit. Like, it's just something that like, it's the best thing that you can find in music.
I'd love to hear from Meghan and Danny on this too, and B. Meghan, I know down in Nashville, you know, there's you know, the kind of a different approach at times, like coming, you know, being in LA and writing, you know, what's your process been like recently?
And you're one of the most slept on songwriters, by the way. Like Meghan has number ones, like in Under Pressure. I remember you were turning the record into LA and he said, I need one more. And you came back the next day with the fucking No record, a number one the next day.
Thanks, Troy. Yeah, that was purely from anger. That song was written to LA because I always feel like when because All About That Bass was so bizarre and so big that I felt like when people would tell me while I was writing my albums, like, keep going, I felt like they were just like, where's my bass number 2? And I would get so fired up, and any angry songs that I had towards LA or my label, I would turn it into a ex-boyfriend love song of like, you cannot talk to me like this. And that's like where I get my inspiration from. Like, I never understood, or I always struggled in school when I was trying to learn from songwriters how to write my emotions in my journal. Or like, I've had such a writer's block on this Corona, like stay home moment, because there's so much pressure of like, oh, the songwriters are gonna have such amazing songs because they're stuck at home writing. I've had nothing. And last night I finally wrote like an awesome pop song, just talking to my best friend about her like first boyfriend ever. And I'm writing these songs that don't relate to me at all. But it was finally like, oh, I wrote a great pop song and it has nothing to do with how I feel. So I get my inspiration from everywhere and it's always different. I wrote that because I was learning new songs on my ukulele because my team's like, hey, we're going to have to do live concerts from home. So figure it out. So my songwriting's all over the place. But whatever, I always say, may the best song win.
There was probably some Fuck You Troy songs too in that mix. Probably Fuck Troy and LA records.
A few of those.
Meghan, do you have
I pissed Meghan off quite a few times.
Meghan, do you have a preference of being, you know, Meghan the songwriter, Meghan the artist? You know, I was having a conversation with Julia Michaels one time, and she was like, hey, I love going in front of a crowd of, you know, however many people I'm performing, but there's no better feeling than when I'm in the studio from scratch and I write a song and create something. So she just said that she just appreciated the songwriting aspect just a little bit more. Is there like a preference for you, or like, you know, what's your thought process on that?
I definitely enjoy being the songwriter, obviously, because you're at home, you're in a comfortable place, you're not on all the time. But the opportunities I get, and like having the option or like the opportunity to have one of your songs actually be heard is like the greatest relief as a songwriter, where I can sleep at night because I know like, oh, this song will be cut because I will cut it and put it out, you know? And that, like, that world of a difference from before. My biggest cuts were like in Italy, and like I was like, no one's gonna hear this song here, none of my friends will hear this. And so having that crossover where now I'm like, well, I'll just put it out, is such a power and such a gift that I'm forever will be grateful for.
For sure.
Danny, how about you? You're writing in English and in Spanish, and you know, really kind of created a sound for yourself. Like, what's your process like?
It's so funny how you were just talking about the label situation, because I just had to deal with that. Because my first album with Def Jam, I was like in full control. Like I was like, here's my album, this is what I'm doing. They weren't so like into it. And now I just turned in my next album that I just finished, and Paul Rosenberg, which he doesn't work at Def Jam anymore, he was like, nah, we need like 2 more ups. And I'm just like, what? They had me stuck in the studio for like 2 weeks, and I was just mad. Like, oh my God, my album, I feel like has been done since like last year, but I'm actually grateful that they pushed me to like go back in, because I feel like I did catch more records. But with me, my songwriting process it's different. Like Neil started off saying, like, I've had songs where I've had a moment where I like wrote a whole long text message to somebody, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna make this a song. And then I was like, I need this type of beat for it, and I'll have the producer cook it up. And then with me also, like, melodies is like my favorite thing to do. I feel like with my melodies are super like dope. So I love to just have a really dope track and just go in and like, you know, freestyle melodies. I can always like cut them up, and then I'll like pen it, or, you know, different situations. One time I just had a no caller ID number keep calling me, and I knew it was my ex, and I was like, wish I could have these no caller ID numbers, like block these no caller ID numbers. And I was just like, oh, this is fire. I'm about to make this into a song and just talk about that. So with me, it's I guess it is definitely personal with my songwriting. Like, I feel like it's always like either super sad because I be going through a lot of bullshit with guys, or, you know, just my life and just, you know, everything that I go through. So yeah, it's always different. I love that my album is super like personal to me because I penned a lot of it. Like, I'll work with co-writers. I don't like working with people I don't know though, just because I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to explain to someone that I wouldn't say that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that I don't really like to do that much, but I'm still open to it sometimes. And then when it comes to chemistry with producers, like, that's a big thing for me too. Like, me and my boy Retro, he's in all my albums that I've ever put out. Like, I know if I'm gonna have a session with Retro, I'm gonna get like songs on my album for sure that day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's always different. Yeah.
Nice. Maria, you want to go through some questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you guys. I picked 3 questions from the audience, and for folks that we don't get your question to, I'm going to put a little link in the chat for our Slack group. We're going to, if any of the panelists are interested in answering questions a little after the panel, feel free to jump into the Slack group and you'll be able to answer a bunch of them from lovely people. First question we have from Kat. As a producer and writer, what has been the biggest challenge or adjustment in having to collab virtually rather than in the studio during this time?
Anybody? Jay White?
Honestly, it's been better. Honestly, I I thought I wanted to work with the artist in the studio, but I kind of like the artist to call me and just tell me, or the writer to call and tell me what the vibe is. It's kind of cool to get your own space, and there's no rush, there's no people. You just have your own energy, you know, just to think about. And I've honestly, these past 2 weeks, I've made some crazy music. So honestly, this has been a blessing, like just in this standpoint of it, you know, to just create, think, chill out, and master your craft.
Danny already called that pack, so you gotta, you know, you're on record now that she called that one.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I got beats now. I can flood them right now. I'm good
Perfect.
to go.
He called them.
Perfect.
Anybody?
I know, like,
Yeah.
being able to, because I've been producing since I was like really young, so being able to produce my own vocals out, it's been like really helpful with producers sending me beats at this time, being like, okay, don't worry, I'll do a top line and I'll record it and I'll send it back. So that's been like kind of amazing, because I like all year long I want producers to do that, but for like, because right now it's been like, oh, email's full, and I'm like, haha, finally send me something.
Yeah, no, that's dope. Everyone in here needs to DM me after this shit. I'm sending packs to everybody, by the way. But I've been like playing Xbox with a lot of producers, and we're like all in the party with our mics on, just like cooking up, sending beats back and forth. So this is crazy. Like it's a good time when everybody's in fear to make the best music we can make.
Nice.
That's actually a good segue into this other question that was brought up. What recommendations do you have for people who may not have a lot of infrastructure or resources? This specific question was for B. Simone, but I feel like it's a good one to open up for the producers and songwriters in the group as well.
Say it one more time.
Yeah, no worries. What recommendations do you have for people who may not have a lot of infrastructure or resources to make products or help others the way you did?
I feel like it's all in your purpose. Like, that's how I started off. There's always somewhere to start. You don't have to have $1 million. You don't have to have 1 million people following you. You don't have to have 1,000 million eyeballs on you. Start with where you are. Find out what people like you for. Find out what you're good at and start putting that energy out. And honestly, people just need to start making content. Like, a lot of people, I don't want Instagram. That's just the world we're in. That's like being like, I don't want a cell phone. I want to write you a letter. No, like you have to evolve with the times. I don't care if you're a doctor. I don't care if you're a lawyer. I don't care if you're a dentist. You should have a social media platform for your business. Don't worry about getting the millions of followers. Start off building content, staying true to who you are, and the people will find you. The money will come. Just start putting it out.
Also opening the floor to anyone else that wants to add to that.
Hey, Suzy and Jay, B. Simone's our fourth partner, by the way. So
I
have so many ideas. My mind is racing right now. I'm trying not to.
Q&A and B is the new name of the company.
Let's go.
We got to bottle your energy up, B.
Yes.
Sell that.
Okay.
Last question from the group. And once again, everyone, I'm going to add the link in the comments of just our Slack group. So if any panelists are able to join after, feel free to just answer a bunch of questions from lovely people. And also thank you for everyone for submitting questions. Some great ones in here. This is for the artists and producers. And I guess overall, with the current crisis we're facing in our creative industries due to COVID-19, what advice do you have for artists that may be feeling discouraged, stressed out, or lacking creativity during this time?
I think right now it's really about staying positive in this situation. There's one of two ways that you can look at this situation. You can look at the situation like I'm trapped in the house, or you can look at the situation like I have a whole lot of free time that I didn't have before. So let me take this free time and actually do something with it. Let me finish that book that I was trying to write. B. Simone, Good Looking Out. That was dope. Let me finish that track that I couldn't figure out before. Let me get this song written. This cookbook, this whatever. Like, you have the time to do it now. Like, just take advantage of the time. And then when you go outside, you might have a little more change to play with when you get to go back out.
Yeah, I agree with Neo, man. Just, now is a great time to, sit down and focus. We don't have much else to do. So yeah, man, just like really dig into the craft and, find new inspiration. It's, now is the time to chase it.
Sure.
I don't know if y'all are artsy fartsy like I am, but my brain is like at 100 miles an hour every second. So even if I have writer's block, or I'm like, oh, I couldn't do all these shows because I'm at home now, I built a fort. Like I do makeup tutorials. I make molds like keychains. Like I use my creativity and I try to throw it somewhere else to like get my mind off of, oh, I have to write a great song today. Like I try to do other things. I redecorated my whole house. And then I noticed like I got back into songwriting. Like it was way better than just trying to sit down and force myself to write.
I love that you built a fort. That's great.
Thank you so much.
That's great.
It was dope. Check out my TikTok.
I built a fort.
Note to us dads, right, Neo, who have kids. Like now we have something to like.
Oh man, come on.
Take notes.
All the forts, and I'm the airplane all day long, and my back is hurting, but it's cool. It's all right. If not for them, who? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The other thing I've been thinking about too is like, if you fall into a rabbit hole in the internet or in discouraging thoughts or negative thoughts, like allow yourself that space and allow yourself like more positive energy to come out of that. And don't get discouraged for, you know, falling so deep, but find a new way out, whether it's a time block or, you know, just a motivating thought that you have in your mind, whether it's a family member or something you're going to do after this is over. And, you know, don't just harp on yourself, bring yourself so down for falling into that rabbit hole, but like create some kind of like new energy or new way to get out of it.
Absolutely.
That be Simone energy. We're selling that.
Yes, let's all like print out photos of B. Simone and have it like glued to the mood board.
No. Just get my book. Manifest the life. All in the
plug.
Yo, Jay, B's gonna be selling forts tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I'm like, she built a fort.
Forts by B. Simone.
If you want your COVID-19 fort, no, okay, stop.
But this has been great. Thank you guys so much for just all the panelists. I know you guys get a ton of requests, but this has been super special. And just really appreciate you guys showing up for us today, and anything we can do for you guys.
Thank you for having us.
And but we want to be mindful of all y'all time, and but thank you.
Crazy. One more thing, like Troy, Jay, we haven't even talked about it today, but today, 1 year ago exactly, April 2nd, 2019, is the day that we launched Q&A out of stealth mode, and launched Q&A and HRS coming together in our merger. And so it's like a very meaningful day, and thank you to our panelists. And I think like Jay, Troy, like you guys have been partners for 20 years. And I think like in creating this company and this establishment of Q&A and human resources, like we were thinking about the next 10 years and the next 20 years. And so it's really wonderful to have this community, this panelists, like this group of hundreds of people that are here to celebrate that together with.
Well, I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. So just, let's keep it going, and we got a fun stretch ahead of us right now.
Yes.
Congrats, guys, on the year.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Everyone stay safe.
Definitely.
Stay safe, guys. Stay inside.
I got that back.
I
love you. They're gonna DM you.
DM Murda too.
Bye.
Thank y'all.
Thanks everyone for joining. For any of the audience members that are still around, feel free to add the Slack group and we'll chat after. Thanks everyone. Have a good one.